Hi there. I'm back for the third try. I'm sorry, guys. So, guess I'll wind up having to edit this particular video because this is just a mess here with my stream speed tonight. Don't know what's going on. I've got a great connection usually, so it must be just one of those days. I don't know, man. But I'm here and I'm trying my best. So I'm going to keep on trying. All right, so where we left off is we took a piano line and separated the soprano notes off the top so that I'm able to apply delay where I want it instead of to an entire track or having to do a bunch of automation on, off, on, off, on. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you now. Okay, so I'm hearing some clicks and clacks in there, and just check something here really fast as to what might be. I think I pretty much know what's causing that. It's the old same old culprit, but I do want to check. You know, if this happens to you and you're using Logic, you're going to want to jump into preferences real quick. And, you know, buffer size is at 512, and my processing threads is set to 32. So there's definitely not a performance issue there. Let me see here. Yeah, not even close. So what we have here is something I'm pretty sure is as a result of this tempo. Okay. Here is an example of a situation where making a change to a project can result in challenges. Gaining the 3D architecture that is inside of this opening is important to me. But it's going to come at a cost. I'm not going to be able to have as much freedom in the tempo as I want to have. There's one other thing I can try, though. Let me see. Sometimes Replica by Native Instruments is a little more forgiving in these situations, but I'm going to say probably not. Hey. Okay, so you know the plugin, most delay plugins, like I'll try this just for fun. Let's have an experiment here. These aren't things I normally do when I'm on my own, but I'm with you now. So I want to try these different things so that we can prove a point here. This is Logic's delay, built-in delay. Okay. Logic's okay with it. Replica's okay with it. And this Comeback Kid by Baby Audio is having problems. Let's see here. Oops. That's about to go out of control. I could try. Let me just look at the settings here real quick. Now this is going to have something to do with sync. The sync is chasing the incoming signal. So when that tempo suddenly changes here, like right around there or here, That's where you're going to hear these problems come up. You can even watch it happen. See? Right there. Probably going to be okay. It's okay. See? Tempo change. It's going to clear out here. All right, so I could try, and I wasn't sold on a triplet tempo. That was just a random one I chose. Let's take a look here and see if there's other ones that don't have this problem, because this really has cool delays. It's not happening on that one. Let's try a slapback. One of these could be causing this. Well, obviously, this brings me to the point where I'm going to have to make a decision. Decision time. I want to use Baby Audio because of some of the things it's capable of doing. It's a new fun reverb that I have, and I've really liked some of the previous things that I've had with it, but I'm going to go with something that's actually going to not give me a headache. That brings us back to Replica, which is a great delay. I might have said reverb earlier. This is a great delay too. So, okay, situation like this happens, you refocus, get back to the point. All right, the point here is the 3D space, creating something that's enchanting. I'm looking for mesmerizing, and I'm looking to draw my listener in. So I'm going to go through here now, and I'm going to listen to some of these. So in some of these spots, once I find the delay that I like, where this gives me headache, I might do a tempo adjustment and knock some of the movement of the tempo out. But I don't want to get in there and dig out too much of that, because I like tempo that moves. When I've decided a tempo is moving, I like to keep it moving. When I've decided a tempo is dead on, like if this is a EDM situation where it's like, 126 and that's what it is, that's a different story. Mm-hmm. go ahead and get in here for a second and soften these guys up again now. Okay, my ear is telling me that I'm going to create one more layer here. And I'm going to call this one this. I'm going to pull this down here. And I'm going to create another layer of a different reverb here. And I'm going to switch this out now. And I'm going to put this one on a different one. Just bear with me here for a second. Okay. So I'm just creating a little bit of space in there and moving things around a little bit. I'm going to move on now. You know, I'll get a clearer picture of that and give it a little calendar time or whatever else. I'm not going to keep changing things just to change them, but I'm not going to dwell overly too long on this one particular thing. I've already spent a lot of time here. But of course, a lot of that is because I'm explaining things. Let's go back to the list. My lovely list. Let's see where we're at here. I'm liking how that came out. I don't know about this. I'm going to do the tempo pass real quick so that it can knock out while I'm on this subject. This is a little bit of a laborious thing to do, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. So, at all times, tempo is something that I have tracked. For me, that is something that generally, unless I'm just doing a solo piano line or something like that, that's a little different, you know. But when it comes to productions that are multiple instruments, I've got to know where the tempo is. I've got to know where the downbeat is. I've got to know what's happening. And so now I'm just going to actively listen while watching visually the tempo to coordinate this in my mind with what's taking place, just to see when I see this kind of thing right here. I want to make sure that there's not something slipping by me right there. This is where I noticed it before. Okay, so for me, I have a buildup happening right here, and the last thing I want is a pothole in the middle of it. Make that pothole go away. What do you say, guys? Actually, just for now, let's just do that. Kind of subtle things can slip through your fingers sometimes. Okay, we're talking about 9/10 of a beat per minute. Wrong notes there. I'm satisfied that the tempo is not doing anything. I mean, these things look worse than they actually are, and what they really are is life. Life. Music that is moving, music that is breathing. Something that said, hey, by the way, instead of saying, hey, by the way, where are you going today? It's saying, hey, by the way, where are you going today? You know what I mean? Music is like that. Do you say all your words at the same speed when you talk to somebody like this? Well, music is communication, so if you want to vary the way you talk based upon what you're saying, music does the same thing. Maybe not quite as drastic as that, but in my world, it's got to move, especially when it's a flowy kind of a piece of music. And there's just one more thing I want to pop in here because I forgot to notate this at the start of the session. So much going on here at once. I'm going to add a layer of Arcus to the opening. Okay. Arcus is a new instrument for me. It's been around for a little while. A lot of the orchestration stuff that I do is all track to track done. I want to say like hand done. Violins 1, 2, 3. Violins 1, 2, violas, cello, bass. Sometimes violins 3 and 4 too. It just depends on what the situation is. I build these things up from scratch. There's a lot of great stuff out there these days that is not so freaking labor intensive, and I'm going to start taking advantage of it because you know what? I want to get tracks finished. I want to get tracks done. So let's see here. Here we go. I'm just going to show you what this thing can do, but hang on a second here because I want to see what I'm doing. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, but I also need to be able to see my screen. Okay. Now, what did I do there? I added two things. I added atmosphere, 3D space, and added a little bit of tension to the opening. Now, this is something that's got to be done carefully because I want to carry somebody away, but I don't want to make them tense at the start. So basically the line that I did there, we're just talking in terms of arrangement now, that was a rising line. See that? And you can see how moving through dissonances with a string line, something as simple as that, can add a tremendous amount of tension to an otherwise So I'm definitely going to have something there in the opening, but I'm going to use that as a placeholder right now, and let that sit for a moment, and come back and do a direct listening session. And sometimes getting up the next morning, I have the fresh set of ears, and I've been sessioning all day long today, so crushing it today. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you're all doing well and being productive. Okay, keep leaping.